Alright, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we've got a fun little video where I'm going to show you what's inside my pen case. This is just sort of the pen case I take with me when I'm going out, just traveling, gonna take a couple supplies with me in my sketchbook. And I also use it a bunch when I'm sitting down at my desk. It's sort of just full of my essential supplies. So let's dive right on in. Alright, first thing we've got here is, this is the Mobius and Rupert sharpener and eraser. It's got this eraser on one end, and then the sharpener over here. I really love the sharpener part of it. It's not my favorite eraser ever, so I don't use it very often, but this sharpener I love to bits. It's got this little slider there that helps keep all the shavings inside. It's a really good sharpener, of course. I love metal sharpeners. The plastic ones tend to break or break pencils. Not great, but this is really great. I love it. And then this is my trusty kneaded eraser. I've had this for about a year and a half and it's still going strong. Yeah, I love it. I think this was a Pentel brand, but I don't remember exactly, but I really love this one. It's really firm, it's not too soft, so I feel like it works really well for what I want to use it for. So there's that. Alright, this is my favorite water brush. I take it with me a bunch of places. I use it for a bunch of pieces, and I've kind of started to wear out the tip on this one, which is kind of sad, but I love this one. So this is the Niji water brush. It's not the smallest water brush I have. It's actually kind of, I think it's the longest one. So it might not seem like a great one for traveling, but you know, since it's my favorite, I take it wherever I go. Alright, here's just a simple Papermate mechanical pencil. Currently I have some blue lead in it. I use this for sketching, but I don't use it very often. And there's the dogs. Yeah, so I'll sketch with this sometimes. I don't use mechanical pencils all that often. I don't know why. I really like the smooth lines that they give and how thin they are, but you know, not my favorite thing. Alright, here. This one's a fun one. So this is a Derwent Graphitint pencil in the color Meadow. This is so awesome. I use it all the time in my sketchbook to give a little bit of color. It's a sort of graphite-based colored pencil, but what's really cool about it is that it's water soluble. Like, even better than a lot of watercolor pencils, it is so water soluble. All of it will dissolve, which is amazing. So it's really fun to, you know, maybe just sketch with it and then blur out some of the lines with water. It's so fun. Alright, this is probably something you've seen before. It's just a Jelly Roll, Sakura Jelly Roll gel pen in white, you know, for adding highlights and some things. I don't add a lot of highlights. I don't know. By the time I get to that part in a piece, I'm sort of just done. I don't know. And this isn't the best gel pen. I know it doesn't lay on top of like things like colored pencil very well. So yeah, I just use a lot of white ink at this point. Okay, so here I've got a Gold Faber Aqua pencil by Faber-Castell. It's a watercolor pencil in a sort of burgundy color, which is one of my favorite colors, and yeah, I do the same thing as I did with the Graphitint pencil. Just add little pieces of color, maybe sketch with it, and blur out the lines. I have this that same color in just the regular Gold Faber-Castell pencil. So this one's not water soluble, it's not a watercolor pencil, but it's the same color because I just really like that color. And yeah, I do sort of similar thing with this, but you know, since it's not water soluble, it has a different texture, it's very smooth and stuff, so this is a fun sketching tool. I like sketching in, you know, pencils and stuff, whatever, even if they're not erasable. And it does erase a little bit, but not much. Alright, what have we got next? Oh, this is fun. So this is one of the Sketchbox sort of water pens with water-soluble ink in it. This one's purple. I have a couple other colors. And I just put this in for, you know, filling up big swaths of areas in my sketchbook just to like make different pieces pop, and it's sort of a fun tool. I lost this one for a couple months. I couldn't find it, so I'm glad it is returned to me. Alright, let's take out these guys. Alright, so these are the Pigma microns that I carry around with me. I have a 01, a 03, and a 05. Don't use the 05 a lot. I mostly use the 03, but yeah, this is what I use for lining in my sketchbook, and in most other, most of my pieces. If I'm going to use a fine liner, these are what I use. They're nice, they're waterproof, and they last a long time, so those are fun. Alright, next up, let's grab some of my drawing pencils. I've got a few of them. If I can find them all. I think I've got one more. There we go. So I've got a couple of Prismacolor, Color Erase pencils. These three were in a set of 12. This one I got on its own, and I used it so much you can't even read what the name of the color was, but this one was rose. Then this one's just blue. We've got a light blue and a Tuscan red. I love this color a lot. I try not to use it too often because I don't want to use it up, but it's really interesting, kind of a brownish red color that works very well with a lot of different skin tones. This one I thought was going to be my like go-to skin tone color, but I don't know, I don't love it as much as this one. And the reason it's shorter is because I've had it a lot longer. So those are those. And then I have this Staedtler non-photo blue pencil. So it's not an erasable pencil, it's just regular, but it's supposed to be a non-photo blue, which means like if you take a picture or scan something, this color won't show up. So it's nice if I'm on like scanning some line work or stuff, but I don't know. It's not really a process I use all that often. Alright, let's grab out a couple of my brush pens. Yeah, those are all the ones I'm carrying around now. Alright, so this is the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. I've had this one for a long time. I've gotten a couple of refills for it. It's a really good go-to brush pen. It's really flexible, and it's got hairs on it, so you can see it's really flexible, and because it's got hairs, it doesn't fray at the ends like ones that are just fibers or felt tip. So, you know, this is really good. It's super flexible, so that means it can be kind of hard to handle. But, you know, it's really versatile, so I keep it in there most of the time. Alright, then I have this Prismacolor Premier brush tip marker. This one is in a color sepia, so it's just a nice sort of brown color that I can use if I don't want to go on full-on black. So it's a little bit more subtle, and fun. Can make things look a little bit vintage if I want it to. It should be, I believe it's waterproof, but I'm usually pretty careful. Like, often I'll do my outlines on top of the color, so that it's not going to bleed or cause problems that way. But yeah, this one, the brush is pretty nice. It hasn't started to fray, although it is a felt tip one. Alright, then we got this Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen, and this one's in another fun color. This one is in dark indigo. So, you know, it's also got a felt tip point. This one, I don't like the point as much because it's more flexible at the tip, but the base that's close to the barrel of the pen is not very flexible, so it sort of bends at the tip, and I find that kind of annoying. It doesn't give a good feel when doing the painting or the drawing, and it's a little bit harder to get the lines to go where I want them to. But I like the color, I enjoy that. I think it could be a little darker and more, like permanent colored sort of thing. But that works for me. Alright, let's take a look at these. These are a couple of highlighters. I just recently put these in. They're just, regular highlighters. It's nothing special. Purple and blue, those are kind of my theme colors at the moment. And yeah, I just use it for like outlining sketches and stuff, adding a little bit of color. Makes the sketchbook look a little bit more fun. Okay, so here I've got just a regular ballpoint pen. I change up which ballpoint pen I use at different times. It depends on whether I want it to be like really grippy and or do I want it to be really smooth. This one happens to be pretty smooth flowing ink, which is what I like at the moment, but that can change. Okay. Alright, let's take a look at this one. This is a Copic multi-liner in the color Cobalt, so got another blue one. This one's the 0.3 size. It's a tiny little one, but it's really fun to have a blue pen in there, just because I love the color blue, and a lot of my drawings are themed around that. Alright, here's a Pentel eraser. It's got the ones where you got the little clicky, you can click it out. So yeah, it's nice. I definitely prefer to use my kneaded eraser most of the time, but occasionally this will come in handy. Alright, here is my mechanical pencil. I like thin graphite, thin lead, whatever. So I have it in 0.5 millimeters is the lead size, so it's really thin. And yeah, I think the brand is Zebra, and I love, it's like a smallish sort of pencil, but I like how sleek it's kind of look. Its design is really nice. This is a pen I've had for years. I love this pen. I have another one of these that I use all the time for my math homework, and that is what this pen is good for. So yeah, it's really thin. That's how I like to use my graphite. I don't carry around a thick graphite pencil. I want it to be thin. Makes it a little bit less messy that way, I think, is what I like about it. This is a quick refill for my pocket brush pen. Alright, this is the Aqua Pen Graphics by the brand is Marabou. So these are sort of watercolor markers. They're dual tips, so I've got a brush pen on one side and a bullet tip on the other. I've got a couple colors of these. This is just the one I'm carrying around. Again, I use it to color in large swaths, areas in my sketchbook, on my sketches. it's not my favorite watercolor pen. I don't love watercolor pens for watercolor at all. They just don't work so well. I don't like how they interact with the water, but just using them by themselves, it's fine. And as long as I don't try to put any water on top of them, they don't smudge or anything. So, love that. Alright, the last thing I have is a ruler. It's a pretty old ruler. I have no idea where this came from, and it's really dirty. But yeah, I just have this in there all the time in case I need to like mark out an area in my sketchbook. I want it to be a certain size, or I want a straight line. This is, pretty useful for that. So, that is everything in my sketchbook, not my sketchbook, in my pen case. There we go. That's all I carry around with me. It's kind of a lot now looking at it all spread out, but yeah, those are my favorite things. Alright, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for seeing what I lug around when I'm on the go sketching, and what are my essential supplies. I definitely change these out every once in a while. I'll be like, I don't use that very much anymore, or I'll bring in a new art supply that I'm loving at the moment. But yeah, this is kind of my essentials. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like it and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of my stuff. And yeah, have a wonderful day, and until next time, live life respectfully. Alright, bye.